Okay, we're recording.
Oh, it's happening.
It's all happening right now, yep. Live.
Hey, everybody.
Actually live.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Trying to Be Better with Joel and Steve podcast. We are actually in the same space.
Yeah. I'm looking at Joel. He's like right there. Not on the screen.
I'm touching Steve.
Electric bolts.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Hold on. Cameo appearance by my dog.
Well, your dog makes an appearance a lot because
that's true.
She often wants to end the podcast and get you to take her
on
a walk.
That's correct, yes.
So we have an audience of one. And, welcome to the podcast, everybody. It's hot.
It's very hot. It's like stupid hot.
And we got some incense burning, and we're outside in Steve's backyard.
Yeah. It's actually not too bad. In the shade.
In the shade, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's muggy.
It is muggy. It's like Florida muggy.
Yeah, man. Well, this is great.
It's not bad, huh?
Presents,
right. This is our 38th one of these officially. I mean, there was a couple that were kind of reruns, but so we've been at this for over
since November.
Yeah. And this is the first one that's been done in person.
That's insane.
I feel like that's pretty.
I shouldn't say insane. That's wild.
It's wild. It's pretty monumental, I think.
I think it is too, man. What if? Hey, so follow us on Instagram at Trying to Be Better Podcast on Instagram, and email the show at
ttbbpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, please. So, just a little. We have no agenda.
That other than just to enjoy basking in the glow of our non-Zoomness.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah, it really kind of is.
Yeah.
It's nice, though.
It's totally nice.
It's very nice, yeah.
Yeah, we've been at this for a minute, and this is the first time we've ever done it in person.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that, but that's been the circumstances of our podcast for the last several months.
It's what it was born out of.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, so we can really kind of thank the pandemic for this. And you, our devoted listeners, can thank the pandemic as well for putting us together. Because this probably wouldn't have happened otherwise.
I don't think.
Not in this format exactly. No.
I don't think we would have actually followed through.
Right.
It's something that I think we would have kicked around and never actually done because our lives are busy and we do a lot of things. But there was a perfect storm of opportunity and nothing else going on, and the weather getting colder and us not really leaving our house to do anything.
That's correct. Yeah. November was a good time to start this.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, come a couple weeks from now, I'm going to be back to school and eventually back in rehearsals. It's gonna. We don't know what that's going to bring.
That's true. What are you already predicting the end of this?
No. I'm predicting a shift maybe in frequency. Maybe I don't know.
I can
maybe
see
not.
That. We might go back to Zoom just for convenience sake.
Well, that's a whole thing right there. Like the brilliance. I mean, the brilliance of the convenience of Zoom.
Yeah.
Like
you could literally do it from Crete.
Yeah, and I may have to.
Right.
Like pre-rehearsal record one of these.
Yeah.
Which, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
See? The problem we literally just realized might happen was also solved in the same span of time.
Because I don't even know what to say. Like, the whole thing about this podcast is we're trying to be better.
Yes.
Trying to be better people.
By holding each other accountable and discussing things that are somewhat...
Yeah.
Things that might not ordinarily get discussed, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be,
And problem solving.
Yes.
And
a fair amount of being judgmental and kind of bitchy about things.
Well, I was like, to be honest, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I'm like looking at my rehearsal schedule and I'm like, oh man, what's going to happen to the podcast?
Uh-huh.
And I don't have the perspective that you have on that. It's like, oh yeah, we can just record it remotely again. Wherever I'm at.
Basically, as long as one of us is at a PC that can record the podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, problem solved, everybody.
But you can all rest easy.
Yeah.
Joel and Steve aren't going away anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't lose any sleep. Everything's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Well, there's a podcast that I listened to that just started back up after a 3-month hiatus, which is probably why I was thinking, like, how are we going to navigate blah, blah, blah. The single podcast theory, the Pearl Jam podcast I listened to, and I think their lives just got a little nutty and crazy, and I think one of them had to take on another job. And, and so, like, they had to, put it on pause for like 3 months, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So.
I don't want to do that either.
Where are the chickens?
Yeah, they're actually eating right now.
Very good.
They're hanging out. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they haven't come over to say hi.
Oh, the coop is open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're actually just kind of in there on their own volition right now. Nice. Must be dinner time.
So, yeah, we got chickens back here. We got a dog that just went inside.
Yeah.
Nice lawn.
Sort of.
It's great.
Thank you.
My bare feet are...
in the grass.
Are earthing.
Earthing. Isn't that nice?
You ever heard of earthing?
Not in exactly that term, that way, I don't think. Is
There's
that a verb?
Well, some of the neo-hippie folks I follow talk about actually putting feet and hands like
on the earth.
On the actual earth. I don't know. There's some sort of like you're electromagnetic. It sinks.
I'm taking my chacos off.
I'm butchering this explanation. Kirsten's going to be so mad. But like, yeah, there's something about ground. It's like a literal. Oh. It grounds you.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, yes, literally, but also like energetically.
That's like some of the guided meditations I'll do. They'll be like, feel the energy of the earth, and I'm like through my flip flops,
through my foundation in my house,
exactly,
through
right? Yeah, through my padding,
through my cushion.
Yeah. So I kind of that's a stretch for me.
So I'm earthing. Sometimes. I'm earthing in your backyard.
I'm honored.
Ooh, today is brought to you by Blackberry Bubbly.
It's pretty good,
sparkling water. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Have you been listening to Mary Stancavage's latest couple?
So I saw that she was doing a whole series on the Eightfold Path.
Yes.
And I missed the first couple, and so I decided I'm going to do it in the not that the Eightfold Path needs to be some sort of progression, but I was like, I'm going to start at the beginning, so I'm a little behind. I'm about 3 or 4 episodes behind.
What was the last one you listened to? Because
Right Intention. Wise Intention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on Right Action.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's tough.
How's that going?
Well, I love listening to it because it's chock full of things that are food for thought.
Yes.
And Intention kind of plays into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But just, and I think I'm also tying that into because I also recently listened to the Right Speech one, so that's kind of a deal with me. Like, that's where I kind of trip up. Mm-hmm. And, Sonny, you're kind of interrupting the proceedings.
Steve's dog is literally like trying to get itself completely entangled in the wires and cords.
Yeah. Well, she's kind of a master of seeking attention. It's like, oh, you're going to ignore me? Well, I happen to know that this thing here is really important to what you're trying to do, so I'm just going to mess with it. Hold on. Cameo by Sonny. But so anyway, so like that's been... I especially when I was younger struggled with both these things a lot.
Yeah. Are you talking speech, right speech?
Right speech and right action, both.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful through, the secret meetings and all that I've been able to change a lot of that.
Yeah.
But having it spelled out for me in the terms that I'm not even going to try to recreate right now, but just the very specific ideas has really given me a gratitude for being able to have some control over those things and some perspective.
Yeah.
And I mean, a little bit of, I don't know if regret's exactly the right word, but definitely looking back on my past when I was a younger person, like, ooh, that wasn't great a lot of the time. And
it's like one of those things, know better, do better sort of deal. Like if you'd have had an introduction to the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths and all, and the steps or whatever, like all the things. Yeah, but
that is 100% in shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Right.
And so I can't.
Nope.
It's like, well, that's the way things were.
Yep.
Next.
You did the best you could with what you had at the time.
Pretty much, yes. And I think that's true. I think that's true. But now it's one of those things like, well, what has been seen cannot be unseen.
Yes.
And so I'm thankful. And that's, we talk about that a lot, just that awareness and to realize and sit back and like, oh, I very much don't want to be that guy because I just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, not because I want to avoid consequences. And I think that's, we're kind of, like the idea of karma or cause and effect. Mm-hmm. I think that it could be easily misinterpreted that the whole point is to avoid bad things happening as a result of bad actions. That's not the point.
It's not the point. It can be a part of it, but it's not the point.
No, it's like when you actually get a taste of that true right living, wise living, you want that for in and of itself because of the peace and joy and benefit you see it bringing to the people in your lives and yourself.
Yes, for the benefit of all beings.
Right. Yeah. I was reading something about wise speech or right speech that I'm going to butcher this, but it was basically like there may be instances where not telling the truth is the most wise action you can take. And so it's like basically instilling the idea, especially when it comes to right speech or wise speech, that we have the power to discern in the moment what is necessary, what is kind, what is relevant, what is useful. It's so funny we're bringing this up. I did not mean. Okay. Speaking of right speech, this might be a topic tangent, but I made a joke to my wife the other day that was just mean. Like it wasn't. The context of it was mean. On paper, it was not mean, right? Like I made some.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I made some circumstantial joke that I sort of instinctually would do just to rib somebody.
Sure.
That person happened to be my wife. But then we had this really beautiful conversation after the fact where it was like, hey, that wasn't cool. She was like, yeah, I forgive you, but that was not cool. And it was like, I got to dissect, what I think is funny or what I think is a joke or how I get attention. And it was like this whole mini inventory with her about wise speech. And then I saw this whole past unfold behind me of the times that I thought shit was funny. And it was just fucking mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And so I think I'm doing a good thing by being funny and jovial, but at the expense of somebody else.
And that's that last part is the hard part.
Yeah.
Like that's, and certainly guilty of enjoying humor at other people's expense. And there are certainly people who make their living at other people's expense.
For sure.
And so that's kind of, most of I listen, and you as well listen to a lot of Mark Maron. I enjoy his interviews, and a person that keeps coming up in his life story is Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
Because of the coke days and just being insane, and
right.
But all I remember really of Sam Kinison is the screaming. Yeah, and that he used to be he was a pastor at one point in time.
Yeah,
and then he sold his soul to the devil, and
became a great comedian.
Yeah. Well, so I thought I'm going to listen to his first album because he was talking to Rick Rubin.
Oh yeah, that was a great talk.
It was a great talk, but so I went back and listened to that album. I started to listen to it. I had to turn it off,
just because of how mean he was.
Yeah, and like most of the jokes, frankly, have not aged real well.
Sure,
they just have not aged real well.
Let me guess: sexist.
Yes.
Racist.
Yes. Homophobic.
Yep.
All that.
Yep.
Like the big ones.
Yeah.
And he just dove. And so I can see on a certain level how he could be perceived as being fearless in that regard.
Yeah.
And just going the place where nobody would go. But after living the last 4 or 5 years, frankly, it's just not funny anymore.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just not funny anymore. And I'm like, no, that's how we got where we are.
Yes, because there are certain people, and I'm definitely guilty of it. Like there was a time where I would make jokes and thought, well, I don't really believe that, but I can make this joke because it's, subversive or whatever. I'm like, no,
it's just shitty.
It's just shitty.
Yeah.
And I think that, they're like, there's an evolution there where we kind of see, that shit's
because I look at people like
funny.
John Mulaney and Mike Birbiglia, who are hilarious and not mean-spirited at all.
Right.
I mean, Mulaney will definitely poke fun, but he's not mean.
Right.
And Mike Birbiglia is like this sweet narcolept guy that, I mean.
He really is great.
Yeah, he's great. And so that's like when I think of like humor, that's like, well, that's what I want to like.
Mm-hmm.
It's that garbage in, garbage out thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And so that goes back to right speech.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does because, and also like, what do you...
And I can literally hear Sam Kinison in my head screaming obscenities at me now and calling me names.
Well, that's where I was gonna. That's funny you say that because that's where I was gonna ask. Because I've also heard different folks, and this, if anybody's lost completely, like in Buddhism, there's the Four Noble Truths, and the fourth noble truth is sort of like the way to free yourself from suffering is these 8 things, these eight principles, these 8 intentions. It's not like a step-by-step process. It's just sort of 8 things that everybody kind of, can benefit from.
Yes.
And one of what we were talking
that will literally benefit all beings everywhere.
Yeah. So right speech, right livelihood, right intention, all of those things. But in terms of right speech, and you mentioned the Sam Kinison in your head, how has right speech been a challenge for you towards yourself?
Oh, that's the big one.
For me too.
Yep. And that's really like I've had, especially like we've talked about, like my last month or so work has been very difficult. Many demands put on me that frankly are challenging.
Yeah.
And not everything's been executed perfectly. And I've had to stop myself. And I'm so thankful that I would not have the position that I have today if it weren't for these principles, because I would not be able to navigate these waters internally just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
How you fucked that up.
Yeah.
What were you even thinking?
Yeah.
And then just lay awake all night thinking those thoughts.
Right.
And now I'm just like, I'm working really hard and I'm human and I made a mistake and it's fine. And I told all the people and they said, yeah, it's fine. We'll figure it out. Yeah. And so I can go to sleep now.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. And when the more I practice mindfulness and try to practice just being aware, like you said, the awareness, it's like, and I may have said this before, but I had a teacher once, and she was my yoga teacher in grad school, and she was talking about how, once you have that awareness, it's like crossing those spikes at the bank.
Yep.
Like you can't back up; it'll tear your tires up. Like you can't go back even if you wanted to.
Right.
And what I've noticed as I try to become more aware is it doesn't matter what the circumstances out there are. So case in point, like you're having a situation at work, or I maybe, have a difficult student or a difficult thing in a show.
That's a situation at work.
You know what I mean? That sort of stuff. And it's like, I start to doubt myself. Or it could just be like, it's summertime lull and I'm not teaching at all this summer. And then the speech comes up towards myself that, oh, you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like
you should be working right now.
Well, I saw this meme, and we keep bringing up memes, but there was like the academic summer is sitting around thinking all the things you should be doing, and then you also tell yourself you should be resting. So then you just end up being horrible to yourself and feeling bad about it. And I'm making a concerted effort to avoid that dynamic.
All right.
So it doesn't matter what the thing out there.
It doesn't matter what the thing is.
It's just the chatter in here.
Yep. Thinking
is happening. Chickens are actually happening.
Yeah,
right
they
now.
came out and say hi. Now they're curious. Joel's going to get a visitor here in a second.
Do they jump up onto laps?
They might.
Oh, God.
This one coming in particular, Peggy might come up to say hi. Paprika's no longer with us, but Bertha over there, she'll come up to bite you.
I don't want to get bitten, man.
I know. It's okay. Peggy won't bite you.
You're just like, no, I know you don't want to get bitten. I really don't want to get bitten.
Peggy won't bite you. She's fine. She's just curious.
I'm gonna put the mic up to the chicken.
Put the mic up to the chicken.
This is weird.
I don't know if I can get Bertha to hop in my lap. She'll talk.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She loves to sit and chat. It's great.
They're amazing animals. I don't know that I want one in my lap right now.
Right. No, it's fine. Since it's kind of warm, they might avoid that.
Just because of more heat.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's curious as fuck.
Oh yeah, she's definitely seeing what's going on. She wants to know what's happening. And here comes the dog.
Let's get nuts. How does the dog do with the chickens?
They have a very tenuous relationship.
Protect me.
Yeah, no, here, watch out. Oh my gosh.
You guys, it's a whole. The dog is pawing at me. I have a chicken at my feet.
This is like, it's fine, Joel. Welcome to my backyard. Hi, Sonny.
Dude, it's a circus over here.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of endlessly entertaining, actually.
Chickens are happening.
Yeah, dogs are happening.
Everything's okay.
Everything's fine. Where were we? We kind of digressed. This isn't good podcast. People can't see this. If it was on video, it'd be a lot better.
I know. I thought about going live on Instagram, but I'm like, I don't want to sadly have nobody watch it.
Right.
You're just sitting there live, but nobody's watching.
Literally nobody's watching.
The dog is barking at the chicken. Dude, we're going to have a dog/chicken fight.
It's not going to last very long.
Oh.
See?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
You guys, it's wild kingdom over here.
This is actually the first time this has ever happened.
Yes.
This is a new thing. I think that's the first time Sunny's ever stood her ground, actually. Usually she
Sunny
bails.
protected me, and now she wants pets.
Right.
Good job.
Oh, my gosh.
You protected me.
I really wish this was on video. Be a lot better. Be a lot more entertaining. Otherwise, I think they're talking about the dog again. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Eightfold Path, right speech, all that stuff. Self-talk.
Yeah.
Right self-talk.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's like...
You'd think we'd be better at that by now.
No, dude. It takes it takes years.
Yeah.
This is like a year's practice. Like, nobody gets better at this overnight. And then the beauty of it is that I get to see the truth of my conditioning.
Right.
The truth of, and that's got to be something you're okay with and kind of embrace, and I'm thankful for that.
And that's a new concept for me, is that the life conditioning that we're subjected to from the moment you're shot out.
Yep.
It starts.
Yep. Yeah, familial, societal, school, depending on where you're thrust into the world at, what socioeconomic situation you're in, the color of your skin, unfortunately, in this country, your gender, all of that shit. It's like the outside circumstances condition us to adapt in a certain way, and a lot of those. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, you're talking about like being compassionate toward yourself. Once you see that stuff, you see the conditioning in it, and the choice is you can either feel self-pity or resentment because of that, or you can just accept, like, oh, that's not me.
Right.
That's conditioning.
Except for that it is, sort of.
But
that's interesting. Keep going with that.
That you don't have to identify with the conditioning.
Like you can detach from that in the sense like, oh, those are just messages that I've received my entire life.
That I've decided to record and play over and over.
And sometimes quite unknowingly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Most of the time
Most of the time.
Yeah. And
it's when you actually sit with that stuff and try to look for it and see it that it becomes clear. And then it's like, okay, I'm not my pattern. I am not my thought. I am not my feeling.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I would say that, like, unless you continue that pattern once you've seen it.
Yes. That's the spikes. That's backing over the spikes.
That's backing over the spikes, yeah.
Because I feel like if you really are committed to bettering yourself, mindful, whatever, like if you're on a spiritual path, I want to try to keep it general to people.
Right.
But like, once you're on, I mean, that's the thing, is that I've experienced kind of seeing the truth and then being like, nah, I'm out.
I'm out, yeah.
That hurts worse.
Oh, yeah. It does. You can only maintain that for so long. Or you'll need, some help with that. Either whether it's a dysfunctional relationship or
pattern,
or
addiction,
food, sex, television, whatever. I'm just going to unplug.
Opening Facebook, closing Facebook, opening Instagram, closing Instagram, reopening Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like personal experience.
Dude, I'm talking about it here. I deleted the Facebook app from my telephone. Just because I saw myself.
Do you still get on a web browser?
Maybe. I did once.
Yeah.
Because you asked. You asked if I'd seen a post that you had posted, and so.
Oh, so you had to get on.
Yeah, I had to get on.
You're blaming me for
It's your fault.
I see.
My conditioning is your fault.
I'm fine with that. See, I'm glad to be your enabler.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm your social media enabler.
That's so not true. Actually, you're an example, because when you said you took a break from it for a while, like, you're like, man, I'm a lot happier. I'm like, I need to do that.
I kind of took a stand today, which I haven't done for a long time. I've just posted pictures of, chickens and band and whatever, birthdays and, and today I'm like, nope.
This aggression will not stand.
This aggression, well, because silence is, complicity. So, yeah. And I'm just like, no, you're not. I mean, not that anybody cares, Although it is interesting, though, to see, like, I post something of, for example, something heartwarming about a bike rider or a person or something.
Right.
And, like, the likes come out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
right. Everybody loves a good,
feel-good story.
Yeah. And then today I posted a thing about this idiotic website. It's just the most insane, stupid thing I've seen. Like, it's just concrete. It's like, oh, this isn't a theory. This is actually right here. And there's like there's like the smattering of applause.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Well, and I know more people than that have seen it. Right. But that's just it. It's like even me just saying, this is insane. And I want to have, like, if you're subscribed to this, just eat the big one. I don't care. And I know there are people out there thinking, yeah, right on. But they don't want to hit the like button because then that would mean that they got skin in the game.
Yeah.
And like, well, this is how we get gas ovens. And I'm not talking about for frozen pizzas.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I mean,
it should not go. Adolf Hitler had a failed coup in 1923. And there was really nothing done about it. How'd that work out?
Not well.
And then we have to accept the fact that about half of our country's fine with January 6th.
Yeah, dude, they're fine. The testimony stuff that I've been witnessing on that is it's intense. It's sad. It's horrible. It's the cognitive dissonance of folks that back the police or whatever.
I'm a pro-life and I support all blue lives matter. But fuck those pigs.
Right. And because it's so weird, man.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like the silence. What is it? Silence.
Silence is kind of a form of violence.
Silence is violence, and also it's like, to not stand up against oppression is to support the person oppressing.
100%. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing, though. Like
I'm not quite to a place of. I mean, what can I do? I don't buy ink by the barrel.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like Jeff Bezos. Right.
So weird.
I'm not quite to the point of getting my sandwich board and going and standing down in front of the federal building, but because
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of.
But I mean,
like, what do you do?
To be specific, I know that we're not talking about the actual post, but your post was laser sharp because it affected people that you know and love and care about.
Yep.
Versus like, I don't think it's crying wolf, but we have people out there, and this kind of goes back to the right speech. It's like, if all I'm doing is just retweeting, reposting, or just reposting everything I see. If that's what it is, does it all get lost in the noise?
Yes.
It's got to, right?
It does, yeah. I'm certainly guilty of going on retweeting rampages.
Same.
Self-righteous, like, yeah, take that, words from other people. I'm just like, I'm just get the tweet guns out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, 45 minutes have gone by. I'm exhausted.
Yes.
And nothing's changed.
So but you're angrier.
Yes. And more self-righteously indignant.
Which, does that help the world less or more?
It helps the world less.
Yeah.
It really does nothing.
But I think there's a time. I mean, that's an interesting thing to kind of explore is like, is it, going back to right speech and even right intention, right livelihood too, in a way. Well, maybe not so much, but like, what is, is choosing your battles a better use of energy than trying to be all things to all people at all times? I mean, can only do, it's like do the most good with who you're around, at the time you can.
Kesey said, put your good where it will do the most.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And it does go, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
And I think there's lots of awesome examples of what you can do. You can work for the political party of your choice.
Yeah.
in whatever capacity you can do that.
Exactly.
You can vote.
Right.
You can go sit in on city council meetings.
Right.
You can. I mean, there are actions that can be taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certainly more than like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that I can say that's not like just being mad about things that don't matter.
Yeah, right.
Being mad about, if you'll forgive the phrase, trumped up issues.
Right.
That aren't even like, that's not even a thing.
Yeah.
It's a made up boogeyman.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. It's like that's, I think,
or thinking that, and no offense, but that like professional sports matter.
Oh, dude, this is a whole bowl of spaghetti.
Like being upset about some, I'm like, why does that matter?
You know what's funny? I'm glad you said that, because I was watching this. One of my favorite professional sports teams, the Chicago Cubs, is kind of not having the best season, but they have a lot of great players. So they're at that point where it's like, well, we should probably trade some of these players, maybe get some money out of them, get some better players, maybe finish better and rebuild for next year, whatever.
Sure.
But I saw one of my favorite players, is probably going to get traded. I mean, he's the top Chris Bryant. He's amazing, but I saw him play his rookie year, and that was like he was on the team that won the World Series in 2016.
Okay,
but he's going to get traded. Like, that dude is gone. And there was this video of him sort of.
Do they have any say in that?
No. I mean,
one day you're in Chicago, next day you're a Marlin.
Pretty much. Yeah, you can. Yeah, unless you work that out in your deal for every. You know what I mean? You can be like kind of a franchise player, but whatever. I think that happens more in NFL too. It's like you have your franchise quarterback and he's your guy forever and ever, and you get this sweet deal and you get this job security. You're not going to get moved around anyway. But there was this video of him sort of wistfully looking out at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, knowing that the trade deadline is like tomorrow and he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And I actually had real human feelings.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
But you saying like, am I wallowing in self-pity because of that? Am I calling every local sports station bitching about that? No.
Right. You had your moment.
I had my moment, but then I'm like, you know what? That guy's making millions of dollars doing a thing he loves to do.
Yeah,
so it's like, he's fine.
He's fine.
He's going to miss that place.
Right, but he's going to go down to wherever he's going, and he'll be fine there, too.
He'll be fine there, too. And I'll
it's like yesterday I got misty-eyed over Dusty Hill from ZZ Top.
Dude.
Fucking,
yeah.
I mean, like, he's a bass player in a rock band.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter, But I think of all the touch points through my life where that guy's been a part of it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
From age 12 to last year, watching current videos of ZZ Top on YouTube, seeing what they're up to, Like, God, that's just still so cool.
Yeah, right.
And so to have, like, oh, man. And I think it also ties into just being older myself, Like, well, there goes another one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that brings up another Eightfold Path. Wise view, right view is seeing it clearly. It's like I didn't refuse to come over because I was crying in my basement about Chris Bryant probably getting traded.
Right. What's really fun, and aside, the first diehard Cubs fan I ever knew was a guy named Chris Bryant. So
shit.
Yeah. In Springfield, Virginia. Chris, if you're listening, sorry about everything.
It's not that bad, Chris.
Right.
We'll be okay. We're going to rebuild. But right view being, how do I see this situation clearly? Is it okay for me to look at Chris Bryant, the baseball player, and say, wow, I really loved watching him play as a Cub. I hope he's well. This is fun. This is a sports thing that's fun. Or like the bass player from ZZ Top. It's like, so it goes.
Right.
Nothing is permanent. But man, I'm going to go back and listen to some of those.
I listened to Tush last night.
Dude.
It was great.
I got a friend who lives in Texas. His name is Theron. I don't think he listens to us, but Theron, if you do, hi. But he posted some old ZZ Top stuff.
From back in the day.
Yeah. That I knew nothing about.
That's great. It's so good.
And so I'm like, I pulled it up on Spotify, and I'm like, I need to hear that, because that's like pre-MTV.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
everything. Yeah, they had their moment, and I was of the age of the demographic, and I already knew ZZ Top when they hit MTV.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, I was like 15, 16, so of course I'm like, this is awesome.
$10 Man.
Yeah, great,
dude, kills.
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
Sorry, I totally
no, you're all right. I don't know, where were we?
I don't know.
Whatever.
But yeah, so like right view, seeing things clearly, like. That's a part of awareness and getting to a point where that's a tool that I can use when I really would love to get attached and get really bent out of shape about. I think I listened to a lot of right view stuff right around the last election, and you kind of see through, like, even so. This is kind of a new.
So what you're saying is that because you did that, you're better than everybody.
I'm better than all of you fuckers. I'm actually levitating right now. No, what I'm saying is that you're able to see through the machine a little bit. Like even that press conference with those amazing heroes, and I have a hard time with police right now, but they did their job in horrendous circumstances.
They stood up.
They stood up. But I'm also like.
Against a sea of insanity.
Yep. But that particular press conference, I can also take a step back and say they were telling the truth, but they were also cherry-picked for that that
100%.
TV show.
That was very carefully choreographed.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's important for us on Facebook, I think, or any social media. That's where right view really comes into hand. It's like I can see through, like you said, likes. It's like Facebook makes money every time I get angry.
Right. Oh yeah.
They love when I'm angry.
Love it. And insecure.
Oh, which I'm a lot of that too.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you care about yourself and you're cultivating your own peace, man, that's going to hurt their bottom line. They got to keep you angry and feeling horrible.
That's true for basically the American economy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I don't need any of this shit is a really bad attitude. It's really not great for the American economy.
It doesn't sell much.
It does not so much. Like, I don't need any of this shit.
Right.
I got 2 turntables and a microphone, and I'm good.
That's where it's at.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a fascinating sort of evolution of this conversation. It's like these tools allow us to not, I mean, I'm so guilty of it though, but it's like, it doesn't benefit a capitalistic society.
Nope.
A market-driven society.
Nope.
When we are able to cultivate our own joy and peace.
Well, that's the biggest thing. I periodically look back at my Grateful Dead years and like kind of what did I get out of that? What was the attraction?
Yeah.
And one of the most important things that was like early on was the idea of like, I don't have to accept the reality that's being presented to me.
Yeah.
I absolutely, it's conditioning, it's programming, and what? Like, why? I literally went the summer of like 1990, like I would stay up at night to watch, I had nothing else going on, but I would stay up to watch Headbangers Ball on MTV.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Came on kind of late, Yeah. And I'll never forget, I came home from my first Grateful Dead concert, and it was about that time, and I turned it on, and Ricky Rackman was,
yeah.
And I went, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I just shut it off.
Yeah.
And I've never turned on MTV voluntarily since that time.
Yeah, because you see through.
I just was like, no.
This isn't.
This, like, why was I, what?
This is a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, but I just spent kind of an amazing afternoon and evening around people completely, and I don't mean a handful of people, I mean a couple 100,000 people.
Right.
Completely unplugged from all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because I always had in my thought, like KFRX, the local pop radio station.
Exactly. Yeah.
When they stopped playing in 1981 or 2, they stopped playing the Rolling Stones and they stopped playing Led Zeppelin. They started playing bands or groups with names like Climax spelled with a K, And I'm like, I don't really relate to this.
That's a real band name?
It was in whatever. Yeah, look it up. K-L-Y-M-A.
I love the Y.
X's. Yeah. And
the Y X's, is the best part.
Like Climax.
With 2 X's?
2 X's, yeah.
God, that's great.
Like, and I just don't. What? Right?
Yeah.
But I'm like.
That sounds like a bad lube.
Kinda, yeah. Well, it kind of was, but you know, and I just remember feeling it somewhere in my like this. I mean, I guess this is what is.
Yeah.
This is what's on the radio. And,
yeah.
And fortunately, like around that time, I got introduced to some people that had records. And I got introduced to things like New Order and The Cure and Cabaret Voltaire and the Violent Femmes and the Talking Heads. And I'm very thankful for that because it unplugged me from all that other shit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so that, and a couple of years later, like Black Flag and Henry. And that really tapped into a thing that was happening with me. But even that went like a little too far for me.
Well, the hardcore punk
Some of the Black Flag stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not like I kind of appreciate, and I'm like 14, you know, and I'm like,
sure.
Right?
You can't really follow Henry Rollins' dictates at the age of 14.
But you could. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you could.
Like,
you could.
Fuck yeah, Black Flag, kill him, you know. And I'm like, but I was like, I think I'm feeling a little more Robert Smithy right now, you know.
Yeah.
But I was able, and so anyway. The natural progression of that was when I went and saw the Dead for the first time with all the people, and it was like, this is bigger than what I previously. I mean, like that idea, because I knew that I didn't have like I'd given up on the radio a long time ago,
right?
And like corporate rock and whatever, all that shit.
Yeah.
And have I talked about Whitesnake on this podcast?
No, and I can't wait for you to talk about
Whitesnake. You know, I mean, around like I kind of slid into the New Order and the Cure and all that for a while, and the Talking Heads have always been a constant. But then I kind of started hanging out with Brian Scott. Hello, Brian's been on the podcast before, but like started sliding back into some Zeppelin and some old AC/DC and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just because that was fun, frankly.
Yeah.
And that was important too. Is that like some of the other, like the New Order and the Cure, like it wasn't fun.
The Talking Heads can be fun.
That's true.
The Violent Femmes are fun.
Yes.
But New Order is not.
It's not fun. No, and so I mean, I appreciated just like the rocking out with your cock outness of not that I was ever going to have sex.
Power age. Right. You weren't.
Yeah. No, I was not. But anyway, so I was working like one of my first jobs. And that Whitesnake album with Tawny, we have talked about this.
No, we've talked about we have, but not this story.
Well, I don't know. So the point is, and the short version, too late, is that I took my hard-earned money because I really liked Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah, you haven't talked though.
And I heard that in the Still of the Night song on the radio, and it sounded kind of like Led Zeppelin because that's what it was designed to sound like.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, so I took my hard-earned cash down to Pickles record store. And I bought that piece of shit album.
Is that the one with Here We Go Again?
Yeah,
Here I Go Again on My Own?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great video, though.
Whatever. And but I'm like, I was listening to it, and after I listened to In the Still of the Night once, and I did the thing that sounds just like Whole Lotta Love, and I've listened to that once, and I listened to that, and I'm like, I worked like 5 hours to buy this fucking thing.
Yeah, you got screwed.
I got screwed. And that was kind of, thank you, David Coverdale and Tawny Katane, for really cementing this thing of like, this sucks.
Yeah.
It was awful.
You had a moment of right view. You saw through. I love that you said it was designed to sound like Led Zeppelin.
That's 100% what it
was.
Well,
I mean, I can relate to that too in terms of the 90s, and I talked about that on that totally less than 2000.
Yeah, that was great.
Because it was like you could see after all of those kind of true blue, you know, grunge.
Yeah.
I don't even like that word, but that like
the original.
Yeah.
The original grunge tip.
And then there was the copycats and the corporate like, hey, what if you grew your hair out and put this flannel on? You would, you know.
Yeah, we could probably sell some. We could make this work.
Yeah, and that was my Whitesnake moment.
Oh yeah.
You know, was like when I saw Scott Weiland all strung out on fucking heroin. I was like, this is not. No, bad. Yeah. Which I think is ironic because I was just saying that before we even started recording that Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters and his band just released a Bee Gees cover. It's actually so really great. Though.
I'm sure it is.
It's hilarious.
I'm sure it's great.
There was something there was a whole nother tangent I was gonna go on. Fuck, it's gone, man.
It's okay.
Man, it's nice to be outside here.
It is nice to be outside.
Yeah, man.
And it's kind of cooled off a little bit.
It has.
It's nice to be, it's nice to be together.
It really is nice to be together.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because we've literally not done this. And this is also, for those of you listening, it's kind of proof of concept.
Right.
Because now we can take this anywhere, really. I need a little battery pack thing.
Well, we might actually have a little remote sesh in a couple weeks, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Joel and I are hitting the road.
We are hitting the road.
Yeah. We're going to go see Wilco in Kansas City.
And Slater-Kenny. Don't forget to mention. I think you're going to. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I got no beef with Slater-Kenny. In fact, I'm excited.
I was listening to Wilco's Blue Sky Blue last night.
That's so good.
I missed that one, man. I missed that album, and I regret it. And I was like, holy.
That's great.
A couple of tracks on that album I was really kind of familiar with, but then I was like, the whole thing. It's
amazing.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I actually just got it. Just came today. Jeff Tweedy's book, How to Write One Song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
I'm going to try.
Dude, he writes songs.
I know. Well, he was on this New York Times podcast.
Can't remember New York Times podcast?
It was one of them.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of them.
I thought it was called.
Don't be a dick.
No.
Where it's like the interviewer is like interviewing Jeff Tweedy about this book, but it's like Jeff Tweedy wants you to be bad at something. Was kind of the hook,
Yeah.
And he's plugging this book, like How to Write One Song. It's like be bad at it.
Dude, there is something really fucking profound about that. Being willing to be bad at something.
Yeah, and that's what Jeff Tweedy talks about. That he's like, people get the part of the and I've said it on this podcast.
You have.
Like, I can't write songs.
You've said that
because I start writing it and it just sounds stupid. And what Jeff Tweedy's what he says is like, yeah, that's fine, that's good. Like, don't get hung up on that.
So right view and right speech right there. Wise, let's say instead of right, because that means there's something wrong, but wise or wise versus unskillful. Wise speech would say that's a story you keep telling yourself over and over again
for 40 years
that you believe.
Yes. Right. But I've always had this thing, and it's kind of a pride thing maybe as much as anything. Like, I've been playing music for a long time, but always somebody else's. And I've always kind of like, well, that's what I do.
Have you never tried to write anything?
Not in 25, 30 years.
What happened with the last thing you wrote that was an original? Like, was there something
it sounded
traumatic?
Like this. Or so, just
all the dogs in the neighborhood started barking when Steve did that.
Yeah. Just there was nothing. I mean, it was either that or I hate everything. Oh, why don't you leave me alone?
That's how punk started, though.
I
know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
3 chords and some anger.
Right. But that's not what I wanted to be or do, right?
I can't wait. When you write the first I'm saying when you write something, you got to premiere it on the podcast.
Yeah, I can do that. So, yeah, it's his book, and he gives
That's
very,
cool.
very, very, just like word exercises. Just take, 2 categories of words and put them in columns and just kind of put them together and see what happens.
Is he explaining his own writing process then?
Part of it, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like how he just shares. I mean, he's written a few songs. So he just kind of shares, how he goes about doing that.
Well, that's kind of how I was listening to Blue Sky Blue, and I was... his wordplay, his lyrics are kind of a
Impossible Germany.
Yeah, Impossible Germany, or
Unlikely Japan.
Yeah, it's like he is just kind of
is Chicago, is not Chicago.
That's Mike Doty, but he's really of the same vein. It's kind of like if you were to take those word magnets, remember those word magnets that I saw a lot in the 90s, and just jumbled them up and put them together and wrote a song?
Yep. That's
why not?
Legit. Yeah. And that's kind of...
Stop making sense, Steve.
Right. And literally, I've known that, rock and roll does not have to make sense. That's never been a requirement.
That's not a requirement.
Nope. It is not. Da-do-do-do, da-da-da-da. That's all I want to say to you.
Yeah. Dadaism. It's been around a long time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Something to the whole the attempt and the effort putting into nonsense to not try to prescribe a feeling for somebody. I don't know that it sells a lot of records, but it's certainly, you know what I mean?
But
you get out of your head.
That's why I'm excited for our guest next week, Mr. Boudreau, because we'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's not famous as far as I can tell.
Nope.
But he's making a living.
Yeah.
And he makes great music. I got the LP.
I saw that.
It's beautiful. It sounds so good.
It sounds really
good. The
second
second side of that album is, I think, my favorite B-side ever.
Dude, that's a huge statement.
It is. I mean it. Like there's a couple tracks. The last 2 tracks on that are as good as anything I've ever heard by anybody.
That's amazing. Yeah, they're really good.
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
Bell Helium, everybody.
Yeah, great stuff. And that's not that I've ever been hung up on being famous or anything like that, but my mind, and this is all new. All of this has kind of come around in the last year.
Yeah.
Or so. Like, why the fuck don't I just try to write a song? And then I'm having that thought, and I hear about this podcast with Jeff Tweedy, who's like, yeah, suck at it.
Yeah.
Do it. Here's how I do it. Maybe try.
Fail big.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to, James Altucher is.
I don't think I do.
Oh, my goodness. He and a couple other guys had this thing called Freakonomics.
That's ringing a bell.
Yeah, everybody check out Freakonomics. And James Altucher, I don't know if he's still doing his website, but one of his things, I used to read a lot of Altucher, and he's definitely an outside-the-box thinker. And he's one of those guys he's like an entrepreneur, and he's made and lost millions a few times, that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But one of his things is that creativity is a muscle.
Yeah.
And if you want to be creative, start creating. And it can be as simple as carrying around one of those little flip pads and a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of something, write it down.
Mm.
And then when you think of something else, write it down. And I went through a phase of that where I was recording stuff on my way to work.
Oh, yeah.
Just little mental notes.
Yeah.
Nothing. I haven't done anything with them. It's it's like Marin talking about his cocktail napkins.
Yeah, and he can't understand them later.
Yeah. Like, what is autoerotic asphyxiation? Why did I write that down?
I should probably throw this away.
Yeah. Yeah, he turned it into a bit, but
Right.
But I mean, that's
so
I've been guilty of saying no. I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
I'm not.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, Kirsten continues to hold to this idea that I have a play in me, that I'm going to write a script. And I do the same thing that you do with music that I've done with writing
but
dialogue.
But you make plays.
I do make plays. I direct plays, and I've made original work, which is in its own. He just patted his lap, and the damn chicken jumped into his lap like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
But what was I saying?
Play.
You have write a play. Oh yeah, I've created original work, but it's all been like movement, sort of.
But it's all been not a play.
Okay, I'm not saying it's not a play. Definitely a play performance, but writing, like staring at a blank page, writing character dialogue, writing a play.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things I'm like, I don't really do that.
Oh, do you want to do that? Do you think that's something that you're called to do on some level?
I don't know if it's a calling so much as it's like, oh, that would be really cool to give to my students and have them work through and workshop it and do it as an exercise in being vulnerable to my, and like as an academic, I'm kind of like, that would look kind of good on the old portfolios to have a play written. You know what I mean?
Is that a reason to write a play?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I have to say though? So.
Well, I don't know, Joel. You have a podcast.
I have a. This is sucking my. This is not sucking. This is actually a very creative outlet. This is, like you said, this is a creative outlet. Like I think you said at the first episode. Like it is a beautiful creative outlet.
It's a beautiful creative outlet.
He's just stroking that chicken, dude. It's chicken. So, guys. I wish. I'm gonna take a photo of this moment.
Yeah,
it's really pretty amazing.
It's quite delightful, actually. Yep. So anyway,
there's the other one.
Yeah, she's jealous, aren't you?
See, now we're interrupting an intimate moment with Steve and his chickens.
There will be more. There's plenty. There's plenty of chicken love to go around.
God. Oh my God. I was gonna start.
Joel just dropped his mic.
I was just gonna say. I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh, the Phish exploration has not died off.
Last night was so good. Jack blew it.
Yeah, Jack. Why didn't you freaking listen to that?
Because I picked up. They teased Slipknot.
Yeah.
They teased Slipknot and then went straight into Simple. And I loved that song. And I always loved that song because it goes back to the Dadaism.
Totally. Yes. It is
every band needs skyscrapers too. What is a band without a skyscraper?
Right on.
I mean, seriously.
Right on. That's a song that I heard for the first time on a bike ride when I was listening to some show from 2002.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, damn, I've never really heard this
They're
song.
laying down this fat groove.
Yes.
Singing about how bands need saxophones and skyscrapers and cymbops.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
I started thinking, I'm like, what if somebody's like, who's the most hipsterish in my life would come up and be like, you can't, how the hell do you like Phish?
Right.
Here's why this late interest in Phish. I mean, because I listen to a lot of Dead, and I listened to Phish a little bit in the 90s, but I kind of was like, duh.
Yeah, right.
They don't remind me of anything.
Right.
And not like they don't remind me of another genre. They don't. There's
nothing tied to it.
There's nothing tied to it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Uh-huh.
It's kind of like wide open and out there.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have any good or bad feelings about any of it.
Yeah, that's cool. I can get that.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I rode 30 miles the other day listening to the show. And
that's
it was
awesome.
I was like, this is all, I mean, I've heard some of the songs, but this is all a whole new experience for me.
That's great.
It's fun.
I have that same. I'm having that same kind of ride with them too. The last couple of years, I haven't seen Phish since 1996. That's 25 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
And I kind of lost interest in them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And since they've come back this last time, they're seasoned veterans.
Yeah, dude.
And it shows.
Yeah, dude.
Everything that they've learned over the last 30 years plus now, has really, they use it.
Yeah.
And that jam coming out of, because I just listened to it driving home from band practice,
Mm-hmm.
that jam coming out of Simple got ethereal and beautiful and still danceable, but just trippy as all get out.
Well, the end of what was the second set opener was.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't catch it. Is that what slid into Slipknot though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they were teasing the
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god! And then Simple, boom.
Yeah, it was miraculous.
It was great. It really was.
Yeah. So I don't.
Phish is a miracle.
Everything's a miracle.
Happy everything.
Happy everything, everybody.
Oh
man. So that's been fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that you're getting to have that, and because I am too. I'm kind of having a I wish I was going to see him in Colorado, but I'm not, and
Yeah.
That's. I mean, so I say I'm kind of getting into him. I'm not getting that into him. Where I would actually go right. Yeah. I know, and I feel a little silly saying that because I know what that actually means.
Right.
But it's okay to do couch tour
for sure.
Yeah,
dude, we should. I'll throw in on a
thing
on a
That'd be
buying
cool.
Buying.
You see
a
what
stream.
Charlie Shonka's doing,
dude? Yeah, that's what I was listening to.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He had 2,000 people listening.
Yeah,
to
it's
him.
amazing. Yeah, and he was streaming it from his joint.
So great. He was like, when the second set started, it was when the second set started, he's like, here they come, they're coming back. I shut the chat off because all you fuckers the chat on Mixler got a little intense and he just shut it off.
Good for him. Yeah.
He didn't lose anybody. They're like, okay, I guess we'll just listen and not say dumb stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so
cool.
funny.
It is. And I was thinking, how amazing is that?
Yeah, hats off to Charlie, man.
We could just listen to a show happening in Arkansas.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Thanks, Charlie, for doing that. We appreciate it.
Definitely. It's very, very cool. Mr. Charlie's Kinfolk Lounge in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, yeah. He's got a spot now, right?
He does. He's got a spot. He's got a joint. Yep. Pretty cool.
Sure you don't want to go see Phish? We could stop by the spot.
Hell, we could just go to the spot and see Phish.
Oh, my God.
Right? We just go hang out with Charlie.
That might be all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Take the mixer.
We're taking the show on the road, baby. Oh, yeah. So it all comes back to we're going to Kansas City.
Yeah, we're going to go.
We'll probably do this from a hotel room in downtown Kansas City. It's going to get weird, people.
Super weird.
Super weird.
Well, because
that's
by the time we start recording, we're going to be so jacked up to go to a show.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact having been drinking coffee in a car for 3 hours.
I am completely blowing off whatever work obligations I have that day.
I appreciate that.
And we're going to,
Yeah.
I hope that fucking show happens, man.
Oh, I know. And that's real, too, because of all you fucking idiots that aren't getting vaccinated and won't wear a mask. Fuck you.
Here's the thing. Get the fucking vaccine. If you haven't,
I have no sympathy for you.
Get it.
This is all your fault. This is all your fault.
It is.
We've got some people in our sphere. They're like, I can't believe this is happening again, but I won't get vaccinated or wear a mask. Fuck you.
Yes, unless you have a. Okay, there are exceptions. There are people that can't. We should be trying to protect.
100%. Yes, the people that actually legitimately can't get it because of medical conditions. Everybody should be doing their part to protect them by getting the vaccine and or wearing a mask.
Because a lot of those people claim to follow a particular religious spiritual leader, and that particular spiritual leader said something about, I don't know, what you do unto the least of these, you also do unto me. So I don't know about you, but maybe you should think about the least of these.
But that doesn't count.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to fucking throw this microphone over the...
Right action, Joel. Right intention.
Right speech. Right intention.
Right thought.
Wise speech. Wise thoughts. Wise... Oh, my God. Get vaccinated so we can go to concerts and...
Yeah, so please get vaccinated so we can resume our regular life.
You know what? These two privileged white middle-aged dudes need to continue their lives.
Yes.
Please get vaccinated for us.
Right.
That's
if not yourself, you're too stupid to do it for yourself. Do it for somebody else.
Well, that's the thing, dude. So I mentioned on a previous podcast earlier in the very...
we just spent an hour talking about right speech. Now I'm calling people stupid.
Well, I'm going back to right speech. Here's the deal. The Black Leaders Movement in Lincoln, there is a leader in that group, Tadeja, I'm butchering her name. Anyway, she got up and shared her thoughts with the city council. I think it was city council or school board or both. And she was talking about, hey, about mask mandates and precautions because the schools are really not thinking about doing
anything. And our governor's like, nope, won't do it.
Doesn't exist. Don't believe it. It's not. My God will protect me. He's fucking vaccinated for sure.
Yeah.
But what was it? She said, like, here's the thing. Like, if we're not going to protect, this particular virus affects black and brown bodies more than it affects us. And
come on.
And Steve. And and the access to medical care is worse because of systemic problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't get, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Steve's practicing wise speech right now. This is all a practice.
Yeah, I'm practicing wise speech right now by not saying anything.
It's just whatever. I mean, P.S. You can stop listening to us if you don't like this,
please.
But please get the frickin' jab.
It all goes back to, I was actually talking to my boss this morning about this very topic. As we watch, hospitals are filling up again.
Yeah, dude.
We had, not in our facility, but in a peer facility, a 28-year-old person was intubated and died.
Oh my God!
Because they wouldn't get a vaccine. Intubated and dead, 28. It wasn't an old person.
But did they have? Okay.
No underlying symptoms.
Oh my God.
It was COVID. They were 28 years old, got COVID, got intubated, died. So take your chances, folks. And I would say, here's how right I am. Please, for the love of God, if you won't mask and you won't get vaccinated, please go hang out. Please go hang out. Just do it. Show us all. Show us all how brave you are. Go hang out at Madsen's.
Yeah.
Just do it. Show us all how tough you are. Please, for the love of everything.
I know you're being facetious, but at the same time, it's like no, I don't want people to suffer. But I don't even think it's people that won't. Going back to conditioning, thinking about the messages and the horrible messaging that has been around good science. It's just sad.
It's sad. Yeah.
I mean, those. I am them too.
Mm-hmm.
They are conditioned. It's like, who does that mantra? I think it's Jack Kornfield talks about, just like me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like me. When you're in a crowd of people and you're judging the hell out of them, just like me. And I definitely went on my rant just a second ago, but they're conditioned just like I'm conditioned. It's just frustrating to me.
Well, I was thinking about because we have a situation where kids are being affected by their parents' insanity, and it's kind of infecting our sphere, and it sucks. And I thought, how does something? My thought this morning was how does something like Fred Phelps
right
survive and live that situation? And I'm like, I'm literally watching that happen in my social sphere right now in real time. That same exact phenomenon.
Right.
It's the same phenomenon.
Right.
Little different point, I guess, or mission, but it's the same phenomenon.
Of inflammatory lies keeping people
delusional? And yes, but also making it generational. Because that's a family thing.
Oh, yes.
Like, how does that get passed on? How does that perpetuate?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is how it happens.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where a mother runs up to her young daughter at the last day of school last year and tears her mask off and throws it in the sky and says, "Finally."
Oh, boy.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how that gets perpetuated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. I don't think anybody... I mean, there may be some of us that love wearing a face covering. I don't love it.
I do not.
I do not love it. But I don't want to be 41 years old getting a tube shoved down my trach and wished I would have... I wish I would have, gotten, I guess, a couple of shots that wouldn't have affected... You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can't imagine... And this is like trying to be compassionate, trying to be better. I can't... I feel
Maybe we got to rename
awful.
the podcast to, like, trying to be shitty. Just like
we should have
screw it. Let's be shitty.
Yeah, one like what is that? The Purge? Like one a year.
Yeah. Rumspringa.
Yeah. Like the dark Halloween, like our shadow self Halloween episode is trying to be shitty once a year. It's like Festivus and the airing of the grievances. I
feel like we do that anyway. We've just been doing it for like the last 20 minutes.
But I can't wait to go back and listen to this and see like how many times we've like, okay, come back, come back to the goodness. Come back.
But that's the magic moment.
I guess.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Trying to be shitty.
Welcome
to Trying to Be Shitty.
We don't have to try. We got that dialed.
That's my conditioning is shitty.
Right.
Towards myself and others.
Right, yeah.
If I don't stop the train, I mean, that just picks up steam.
That's what Sharon Salzberg talks about. Like when you catch yourself getting off on that train of thought and you stop yourself and come back to your present, that's the magic moment.
Yeah.
That's the important one.
Right.
That's where it all stems from.
Yes.
Like catching yourself in that and like, oh, my brain is, I'm thinking again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to come back to my breath now. Because that's going to happen.
That's the gold.
It is the gold. That's the crux of the whole deal.
And the point of it is not to, in that moment, say, oh, God, I'm so horrible.
I'm so bad at meditating. I don't even know why I'm bothering. This is stupid.
Meditation
doesn't work.
Meditation is beautiful failure.
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Like songwriting or whatever.
Yeah. Be bad at something.
Hey, everybody, be bad at meditating.
Sure. It's better than not meditating. That's been my experience.
Being bad at meditating is the best thing I'd ever done.
Agreed, 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Being bad at podcasting is one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah. It's fun, too. It's for me. I don't,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, have we done it?
We did something.
I think so.
We're just going to shut this off and then really shoot the shit. So
yeah,
that's where the Patreon subscribers
That's right. So anybody wants to Venmo us.
Or if anybody knows Steve's address. Well, this won't come out till later, so we'll be gone by then.
That's true, yeah. Plus, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure. My address is publicly accessible, but I don't think I need to advertise it.
No, probably not.
In fact, actually, my Facebook post today, I'm waiting for the eggs.
Yes.
Or the burning crosses, or
maybe the cutout masks to be thrown at your house.
Yeah, that thing, yeah, because that's a rational response to somebody disagreeing with you.
Well, yeah, I think we did it.
I think so. Well, dude, thanks for coming over. I know
this is great.
I know you wanted me, to come over to your place because you got the twinkle lights and everything.
I
got twinkle lights. I just don't have it plugged in.
Thanks for that. Good story,
dude.
See, that's where my humor's shitty.
Right. Oh my God.
I like your backyard. I like just chilling out here.
Yeah, thanks. I kind of do too. Been here a long time.
Your dog's staring at me, making me feel uncomfortable.
No, she's fine. Okay. I'm just glad she's over there now. She's chilling.
Right on. Well, I love you, dude.
Love you too, man.
All right.
Later.
Bye.